everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's time for another edition of Training Tip Tuesday with me, Coach Coral from Team Babe Athletics. I do apologize for the slight delay in tuning in today. We had a little bit of a technical hiccup with our internet here, but everything seems to be sorted and we're ready to roll. So, a couple quick shout outs and announcements before we get started today. First up, big racing weekend for Team Babe, as seems to be the usual flow this time of the year. We want to give a massive congratulations to Babe athlete Jen Gottschalk, who not only completed her second half Ironman this past weekend at Ironman 70.3 Steelhead in Michigan, which is a beautiful course. If you haven't raced it, definitely recommend going and checking it out. But Jen had just a phenomenal race. She's been working really hard. Did a 25-minute personal best from her first 70.3 just a couple months ago. And she also qualified for the Ironman 70.3 World Championship in Nice, France later this year. So Jen, congratulations again. We're just so thrilled for you. Hope you enjoy your rest week, and looking forward to seeing what you're up to here later this year. So just phenomenal effort. A couple other awesome, super fun announcements coming up. July is just going to be a super fun month for the team. We've got some really fun stuff coming up. One in particular is that we are launching 2 versions of our live 12-week sprint training program. One version will be here in Clearwater, Tampa Bay area where I am at in Florida, and then Coach Ray is going to be leading another synchronous program, 12 weeks, for a sprint try in Sicily, Italy, so where she lives. So if you're in either of those locations, feel free to let us know, or if you'd like to fly to Italy and join Coach Ray, you can absolutely do that as well. If you are not local to either area, however, we also have a 100% fully supported virtual training option, and then the 12-week program culminates, if you're here in Tampa, with the all-women's Liker and Lace sprint triathlon. If you're in Sicily, there will most likely be a local sprint try there as well. And then we'll also have a virtual race option if you, again, are not local to Florida or Sicily and still want to participate in the fun. So lots going on. You can just send us a message if you have questions about the training program, want to join in, or if you're just in for the virtual race, you can always sign up for that as well. Additionally, we have a really fun team challenge coming this month in synchronicity with the Tour de France. We are hosting the Tour de Babe, which launches next week. It's going to be a multi-stage distance challenge. And ideally, you will be completing 215 miles in the span of the time of the Tour de France. So if you're on the team, you're already registered and ready to go. If you're wanting to join in on the fun and haven't yet joined the team, please hop in, join us. It's going to be just a total blast. A really great way to ramp up your mileage in July, and there's going to be finisher prizes for everyone, as well as a couple extra bonus things for the fastest finish, as well as the most miles completed. So without further ado, let's dig into today's topic for Training Tip Tuesday, which is bike gears. Why are they important? How are we using them? And again, this is an overview. If you have additional questions, let us know, or I also highly recommend going to your local bike shop. They can absolutely help you sort out the bikes or the gears on your bike in particular. If you're here in Tampa, go check out Outspoken Bike Shop. They're fantastic and can help you with any of your more detailed questions. But just a general overview, this is one of the biggest questions that I personally get as a coach from especially newer athletes, or when someone gets a new bike and they're having difficulty. Typically it stems from going uphill. Susan, Ken, aka Dad. Hey guys, thanks for hopping in today. So a lot of times we don't really think about our gears until we're encountering some resistance. Usually this takes form of going uphill and wondering why on earth we're working so hard because we know that we're fit, or going into a headwind and wondering, again, what on earth is going on and why it feels like we're riding through molasses. So In general, on a road bike, and this also applies to tri-bikes, you've got some larger gears or chain rings in the front that your cranks and pedals are attached to. These are your big adjustments, okay? And then the bike or the gears in the back on your what they call the rear cassette, those are more for fine-tuning your resistance and what sort of gear that you're in. So talking about the 2 or perhaps 3, you'll also see 3 chain rings in the front. And again, I'm speaking to more of a road triathlon sort of setup. If you're rocking out on a mountain bike, this also does apply, but the gearing is a little bit different on mountain bikes and of course single speed as well. So looking at the front part, the front gears of your bike, the chain ring, we're just going to talk about the 2 big ones, the small chain ring and then the larger chain ring. So if you are going back to our riding through molasses example, if you're going uphill, if you're going into the wind, you're most likely going to be wanting to use your smaller chain ring. Of course, there are exceptions to this, but that's a more detailed conversation for another time. If you're going downhill, if you're going with the wind, so much lower resistance, right? We've got kind of like extra rocket boosters and we can gear up a little bit. And also if you're looking to lay down some serious power, aka which translates to greater speed, you also will have a greater advantage by using the bigger chain ring in your front part of your gear setup. All right, so with that, there's also kind of a cruising gear ratio that you can hit. And again, it really just depends on your strength, your comfort on your bike, your physical gear ratios. Not all gears are the same size or the same ratios front to back. So again, just finding that sweet spot. You're probably going to have, if it's just a very calm day outside, pretty flat neutral terrain, you're going to find a sweet spot of just a few gears that you tend to use. And it may be that you're bouncing not only through your rear cassette with the micro adjustments, but you might find that there are a couple different gear ratios front to back, both using the small and the big chainring that work well for you. So the biggest thing that I will say is that it's hard to get the hang of using your gears unless you actually use them. So go out, find a hilly course, find some place that you're going to hit wind resistance. If you're here in Clearwater, the Causeway is a really great place to do this because you have both an incline as well as most days you're going to hit some wind resistance. So play with your gears. If you're an experienced triathlete or you know someone who you can bounce some ideas off of to develop a workout that specifically requires you to use different resistances, use different gear ratios, set some stuff like that into your training schedule so that you are actually required to gain some experience and become very proficient and very comfortable in using your gears. So if you're on our team group, I'll be actually going through with a video and doing a tutorial of road bike and also tri-bike of how to do the shifting, and as well as a few more tips on how to use your momentum and shift so that you don't lose your momentum when going between your big chainring, small chainring, etc. So hope that is helpful. The biggest takeaway here is that experience will yield great results. So keep practicing, don't get too frustrated, and when in doubt, find a good friend or head to your local bike shop for a more in-depth tutorial and someone who can help you on the road get your experience and some practice under your belt. So thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful Tuesday. And of course, if you're in Tampa Bay, we will be headed out to Clearwater Beach this afternoon at 6 p.m. for the open water swim that's hosted by Outspoken Multisport, whom we love dearly. So thanks again, and we'll catch you later. Have a great day.